What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 66, and we start today's episode off with a game against Arsenal here in the FA Cup quarter-finals, and we did rest quite a lot of players for this game as well. Only a couple of first-team players made out for this game because, of course, we do have quite a congested fixture list at the moment. Of course, this game is sandwiched in between the two games against Valencia. We won the first leg away in Spain by 2-1, so there's still quite a lot of work to do at the Den if we are to make it through to the Europa League quarterfinals. And the FA Cup, I'm not really that interested anymore. Of course, if we are in the quarterfinals, it would be lovely to reach Wembley in the semis and hopefully get to the final again, just like last year. But to be honest, we've won the Capital One Cup. This would just be like nothing to us, really. Or, you know, it would be nice, but it's not necessary because we are in the Europa League next year due to win the Capital One Cup. And the FA Cup, sure, it would be nice to win it. It would be nice to win 2 trophies in 1 year, or even get through to the final, or even get to Wembley by reaching the semi-finals. But to be honest, I'm not really that interested. The game against Valencia on Thursday night is far more important to me, so that's why I rested the vast majority of the side here. But it was Arsenal, as expected, who had the first couple of chances. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's shot went wide, and then Ozil's shot was brilliantly blocked by Gutierrez, captain in the side here. Our 18-year-old defender with a great block. But in the 38th minute here, Michael Ngou gets a booking after he brings down Jack Wilshere, and I thought that was quite debatable, but it was given. And in the 45th minute though, Ngou plays the ball through to Camiliano, gets past Koscielny with a nice McGiddy spin, chips the ball over the top, and Ngou tries to beat Szczesny with a chip shot, but sadly the Poland goal stands firm and it's still 0-0. But in the injury time in the first half, Stanislas takes on Kieran Gibbs, beats him with a Ronaldo chop, plays the ball over the top towards Dongu. He's got the legs to beat Danilo, cuts inside him, and then finesses it into the bottom corner. So what a great finish by Dongu there. And that made it Millwall 1, Arsenal 0 on a stroke of half time. So what a superb finish by Dongu. It was really our first chance of the game, really, or one of our first chances. But in injury time, Danilo crosses the ball in towards Jack Wilshere. It's headed away. Dzeko keeps it alive, finds Jack Wilshere. I slid in with Gutierrez. I felt for sure that Wilshere was going to shoot with his left, his stronger left. Instead, he put it onto his right foot and put the ball into the back of the net. So 2 goals scored in stoppage time in the first half. So that was a real shame, really. It's Millwall 1, Arsenal 1. But in the 54th minute, Arsenal through again. It's Wellington Silva down the left hand side. He crosses the ball in, but Dzeko's header is well saved by Alex McCarthy. So McCarthy once again trying to frustrate Arsenal. Still 1-1 here, but in the 58th minute, how about this? Camiliano heads the ball forward and Michael Ngou chases down Danilo and he ends up taking him down, and the referee walks over to Michael Ngou, and you know what's going to happen here. He decides to give him a second yellow card and Michael Ngou is off. So both incidents where Michael Ngou got a booking were debatable. The first one, you can see why he got a yellow card, but you can also see why he shouldn't have got a yellow card. The same with this one. You can see why he's being given a booking, but you can also understand if the referee decided to be lenient with him. So I was a little bit frustrated, mainly due to the second one, because of the fact that Arsenal was they were in their own half, and you know there was no counter-attack on or anything. But sadly, it was given, and you know you can understand why the referee gave it, but even so, I still had a little bit of frustration on me. But Camiliano then picks up a booking in the 65th minute, so we were having some discipline problems all over the pitch there. That was a definite booking, so Camiliano gets a yellow card as well. And in the 75th minute here, whilst it's still Millwall 1, Arsenal 1, Jack Wilshere's onto the ball and plays it through to Mesut Ozil, the German, who goes through, beats Gutierrez, but he can't beat McCarthy. So once again, Alex McCarthy doing everything he can to stop Arsenal from scoring a couple of goals past him. But in the 84th minute here, Arsenal play the ball out wide. Abu Diaby, the Frenchman, plays it inside to Mesut Ozil. His first time volley is saved by McCarthy, but when he needs some help from his defenders, he doesn't get it, and it's put in by the substitute Mandzukic. So Arsenal do come from behind to take the lead in this game with just over 5 minutes to go, and that's a real shame as well, because after that, all they did was keep hold of the ball and pass it around. I was getting so frustrated because I couldn't get the ball off them. And in injury time here, Gibbs plays the ball away, and I slid in with Camiliano. And no doubt in my mind that that is a definite booking, and that is a definite red card. So I think the Michael Ngou red card, you know, the 2 yellow cards were debatable. There was no debate in that one. Camiliano definitely deserved his red card. And in injury time, we went down to 9 men. So it's my fault. I just got so frustrated because anyone that plays against the AR and Legendary will will know that getting hold of the ball, getting the ball off them, especially when you come against a team like Arsenal or Swansea or Southampton, a side that's sort of intended to pass the ball around, you just know it's not an impossible task, but it's so frustrating. And when you're 2-1 down after conceding in the last 5 minutes with 10 men, you're going to get even more frustrated. So it's my fault, don't get me wrong, but even so, 2 red cards and just very, very frustrating to lose that game 2-1. We are out of the FA Cup. As I said, I'm not that interested, I'm not that bothered about it, but it's just the way we lost the game, if you know what I mean. Getting Michael and Goose sent off was really frustrating, and of course the fact that I just couldn't seem to defend or get the ball off them was even more frustrating. So 2 red cards. They will miss our next league game. They will be fit for this game against Valencia. However, only Michael and Gu made it onto the bench. Of course, Camiliano's a reserve player, really, but it is against Valencia this game at the Den here, and this is a really big game. Like, even though we've got the upper hand after beating Valencia at the Mestalla 2-1 in the last game, this is a huge, huge game for us, because I'm desperate for us to reach the Europa League final. I'm desperate for us to have our first European trophy in our first season, in Europe with Millwall. But I know it was going to be tough, and of course Valencia did play well in the last game. We were not lucky to get the win, but we certainly did need McCarthy a couple of times to bail us out. But even so, Valencia's strong side did look quite intimidating. However, of course, we do have 2 away goals in our pocket coming into this game, so we do have the upper hand, really. It was Valencia who had the first chance of the game, though. Jonas came through here, but his shot was well saved by McCarthy. Not a real surprise I'm saying those words again. Good save by our goalkeeper. But in the 19th minute, how about this? Seb Larsson with a brilliant piece of charge down play. Eventually the ball falls to Ings, plays it back to Larsson. Larsson is running clear, he's 1-on-1. Has he got the legs? Just about, but he doesn't have the finish. So a great chance for Seb Larsson, but unfortunately he couldn't put the ball into the back of the net, so still 0-0. But in the 24th minute here, we play out from the back once again here with our football, which looks so nice when we get a goal from it. But of course we would need to be on our game if we were going to score, because Valencia's defence was looking quite strong. But in the 25th minute, a lovely piece of passing. The ball finds Liam Trotter down the right hand side. He crosses the ball in, and there is Brian Carrasco, who flies in at the far post to make it Millwall 1, Valencia 0. So great goal by Carrasco there. It was just a lovely, lovely team goal. You probably knew I was going to score after I just sort of mentioned it earlier on in that phase of play, but that was just a wonderful team goal. It really was. We scored a lovely team goal against Valencia at the Mestalla, and we scored another one here at the Den. And again, it was Liam Trotter's cross, this time finding Carrasco, not Danny Ings, but it's still a wonderful goal. And Carrasco, it's so funny when he scores headers, because he's not a tall player by any means, but he seems to have a great leap on him, and that's a really good finish by Carrasco, and that makes it Millwall 1, Valencia 0. So on aggregate, we were 3-1 up with 2 away goals, so things were looking very, very positive for us. And as things stand, you would definitely put your money on us reaching the Europa League quarterfinals. However, in the 48th minute here, Mark Beavers is onto the ball, rolls it out wide to Jack Robinson. Robinson stops the ball, and again we look for a team goal here. Larsson gets onto the ball, plays it back to Jack Robinson, our left back. First time ball to Danny Ings, gets past João Pereira onto his stronger right foot, double step over here, nutmegs the defender, goes through and hits the bar, and Carrasco's shot is well saved. So what a superb goal that would have been by Danny Ings. Lovely double step over into the nutmeg, but sadly it's still 1-0. But in the 63rd minute, a great chance for Valencia to come back here. Gardado's cross goes into the far post, it comes in, it's a great save by McCarthy, then the second one is blocked by Robinson, then the third shot is saved by McCarthy. So we're doing everything we could to keep it score at Millwall 1, Valencia 0. But in the 70th minute here, Fabricio, the Valencia player, rises the challenge, but he's taken down by Alex McCarthy. The referee walks over to him. My heart was in my mouth, but thankfully he only gave the goalkeeper a yellow card. So McCarthy gets a booking, but Valencia do get a penalty, and that was a real shame, because it was a definite penalty as well. At first I was like, what, are you serious? McCarthy's got the ball in his hands, how's that a penalty? But as you can see there, he takes him down with his legs before he gets to the ball with his hands. So Valencia have a penalty, and really they've got to score it. 20 minutes left on the clock, they need to score. They still need to score 2 goals here at the Den. So Jonas, Valencia's number 7, stands over the ball and must score against Alex McCarthy, who conceded the penalty. It's Jonas who takes it, and it's McCarthy who saves it. So Alex McCarthy pulls off the save to keep the score at 1-0 to Millwall here. and of course 3-1 on aggregate. So as things stand, we were certainly going through, but in the 81st minute Valencia came through again looking for that crucial goal. Sergio Canales crosses the ball in and it's put in at the far post. McCarthy has his hands on his head. He could prevent a penalty, but he couldn't prevent that one. But they still needed another goal, but in injury time they crossed the ball in. It was flicked up, it came to Gaia, who got past Edenilson and squeezed the ball in. So 2 late goals from Valencia. McCarthy collapses, he can't believe it. He saves a penalty, but it's still not enough for us to win the game. It's Gaia who puts the ball in, and it's Millwall 1, Valencia 2 in stoppage time. So I just could not believe it. I basically dropped the controller in utter disbelief there. Edenilson was way too weak, our fullback. He really should have managed to get the ball away there, and he didn't. And because of that, Valencia will manage to squeeze the ball in and make it Millwall 1, Valencia 2, which means as it was the exact same scoreline at the Mestalla, we would be heading for extra time. So that was just gutting. I mean, that was absolutely gutting there as you see the replays. I could not believe it. I thought we'd done enough, and especially after McCarthy saved that penalty, man. Valencia still needing 2 goals, you know, after missing a penalty. All their momentum would have gone out of them, but instead they had enough in the tank to make it Millwall 1, Valencia 2, and it's just absolutely gutting. We would require extra time to go through there, and it was still Millwall 1, Valencia 2. We did go into extra time, and the first chance came to Brian Carrasco down the left-hand side, takes on João Pereira, beats him with the stop, gets onto his right foot, shoots from just outside the area, but Diego Alves makes the save. So I was like, oh my goodness, not again. I really don't want penalties, as Larson pulls up there, but I really didn't want penalties again. But I decided to bring on Michael Ngu for Kelvin here, put Danny Ings on the right wing and Stanislas on the left, so a deadly front three there. Very quick wingers with Ngu up top, but he had a first chance of the second half of extra time. Michael Ngu had the first chance. His header went straight at Diego Alves though, and it was still Millwall 1, Valencia 2. So we just couldn't get the ball past the Brazilian, and it was still 2-1 to Valencia. But in the 111th minute here, straight from the keeper's kick out, Edenilson gets onto the ball, tries to roll it through, but it's intercepted. Lee Catmull plays it back to Edenilson down the left hand side. He plays the ball to Junior Stanislas. Stanislas chips the ball over the top to Edenilson. He tries to cross to the far post. It goes up in the air, but Danny Ings is at the far post to convert it to level the score on the night and put us in front on aggregate. Ings gets the goal. It's a really brave header, and it makes it Millwall 2, Valencia 2 with 112 minutes played. So it's a great header by Danny Ings. It was a wonderful ball over the top by Edenilson. It was actually Diego Alves who tipped the ball miles up in the air, but Ings at the far post puts the ball into the back of the net to make it 2-2, and of course on aggregate that made it 4-3. And as you can see, really brave from Danny Ings. Got a headbutt in the chest there, but sorry, in the stomach, and that made it that put us in front. We had the upper hand in this game, and that was fantastic news for us as Ings gets the goal. And in the 190th minute, last chance for Valencia, the cross comes in, Mark Beavers heads the ball away, and then Lee Catmull makes a crucial interception here to get the ball away. He gives it to João Vitor, a first time through ball is absolutely incredible. Danny Ings is 1-on-3, he's all alone. He reverse step overs past one, then stops the ball and plays it through to Michael Ngu, and Ngu came off the bench, seals the game. It was all Danny Ings is making after a great through ball by João Vitor, but even so, Ngu still had to put the ball past the keeper, and he did. That made it Millwall 3, Valencia 2 in 120th minute, and if there was any doubt of us now surrendering the lead, it was all but over. Valencia were going to head back to Spain out of the Europa League, and we were going to make our way through to the Europa League quarter-finals. So Ings sets up Michael Ngu, and that does indeed put us through to the Europa League quarter-finals. So what an action-packed game. What a superb tie. Just like the Bilbao tie. The Athletic Bilbao tie was fantastic. Of course, that was decided on penalties. This game was decided in extra time. It was just wonderful. A superb tie. And we do make it through to the Europa League quarter-final. So it was a wonderful, wonderful game. We shouldn't have... It was still poor of us to throw away 2 goals late on, especially after McCarthy's penalty save. But I'm just so glad to be there. I mean, you know, like I said, it was poor of us to throw away those 2 goals. But I'm just really glad to be there, and we are indeed into the Europa League quarterfinals. And yes, it's just wonderful. This dream goes on. I mean, can we win the Europa League? Can we get all the way through to the final? I don't think so, but the dream continues, and we're certainly not going to just say, you know, we've done our job now. I still want to go as far as possible, and we are doing a good job of that. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please consider leaving a like, because that's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and it only takes a second to click that like button, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.